Welcome back. What is up, guys? It is the next weekend from the last video, and this weekend we got a little bit less to do, but we'll find some stuff for sure. But I have some good news. The turbo finally shipped on Thursday, I believe, and it should be here Wednesday of this week, so in about 4 days. So I'm super excited about that. Once the turbo gets here, we can finally get the wastegate, the downpipe, everything fabbed up, everything that needs to be changed on those things, so that we can finally install the manifold permanently, the turbo permanently, and all that good stuff. So today it's going to be all about preparation for that task. So where we left off last time, there was a little bit of an incident with our footage where I accidentally filmed in time-lapse mode when I was talking and trying to wrap up the last video. But anyways, ABS delete kit's installed, all the lines are run, ABS is no longer there. We got everything done essentially. So I believe the next step we're gonna do is we're going to go ahead and try to mount the intercooler. We're gonna try to get as much of the intercooler piping mocked up as we can. Our biggest concern is that this catch can will be in the way. If it is, we'll fix it. We'll do whatever we have to do. We'll move it somewhere else if we really have to, but I think we should be fine. I'm pretty sure the intercooler piping is gonna come up through here and then wrap this way to the turbo and then this way to the intake manifold. So I don't think this will be in the way because the intake piping should go over this radiator hose, so I don't think any of this stuff should get in the way. But hopefully we don't have any issues. We're no longer having the battery in this area, so this catch can is pretty much in the spot where the battery would be anyways, so shouldn't be a major problem. Anyways, we got more parts, so this is the only thing we really had that I was waiting on for a while. This was supposed to be here a while ago, but they were actually out of stock, so it was on back order. But finally shipped, finally got here. Super simple. All it is the Hybrid Racing tucked fuel line. It comes with everything you need. We're already running the Hybrid Racing fuel rail, so we're pretty much golden there. This goes in the fuel rail. This side, this L fitting, is what's going to go into the rail, and then this is going to go right back in here. Hopefully you guys can see that. We just got to take off this cover, pull off the stock line, and then we can go ahead and start heat wrapping our tucked line where it needs to be. And we're going to try to run it underneath all this junk over here as close to the head and the trans as we can. It's going to come up through here and straight up like that. So should be super easy. If we have time today, we are going to try our hand at cutting the intake manifold. I've been doing some research. People say they've done it themselves. We're gonna try to get away with doing it with an angle grinder. Hopefully it comes out decent. It might not be the prettiest thing in the world, but I really don't want to buy an aftermarket intake manifold when the stock RBC manifold, which is this one, flows the best, at least out of the Skunk 2 ones. So it's not ported or anything, but I prefer to stick with this manifold if we can. Now, if we totally botch this and it just screws up, we'll order a new one, or we'll get a new intake manifold. So yeah, without further ado, we'll probably start with this fuel line real quick, and then we'll shift our attention. We'll either go to this or we'll go to the intercooler stuff. We still need to go through these boxes and fix everything. So essentially that's a quick disconnect fitting right there. That little, you can see my finger, that gray box right there. So basically we just have to undo that. The Hybrid Racing one comes with the plastic side, so it's now going to be metal, and then that replaces this entire rubber line you see right here. All right, so correction, I was wrong. The L goes on the back side towards the firewall. I thought this was on the intake manifold side, but it's not. So anyways, that explains why I had it wrong. So yeah, this little fitting screws onto there, and then this little piece comes off, and this is what slides over the stock metal hardline. So it's actually pretty simple. I just had it wrong. But anyways, Dean's here.
Hey.
So yeah, that's how you know work's about to get done. He's the work mule. He really is.
Yeah, I just do everything. I let Ben watch.
It's not true.
He doesn't pay me either. It's a fucking sweatshop.
It is a sweatshop. All right, so just got it installed. You know, this brake line. But essentially it's the bottom one, so you gotta, it feels like you're loosening it, but really you're tightening it. So this line's in, honestly, pretty impressed. Shouldn't leak. It's got O-rings and stuff in there. We're just gonna route it through here, underneath the coolant neck. It's gonna come out under here, and then I have no idea what we're gonna do with the excess, because this is a really long line, so you might just like, it should be something like this maybe. Something like that should be fine. But anyways, yeah, simple task number 1 is done. I told you it'd only take like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that was pretty easy.
So yeah, I also already got the fitting on the fuel rail. So it'll sit just like that right there. So yeah. Look, you decided to show up. Yeah. Yo, you gotta clean this thing, dude.
I know, it's been like 3 months.
What the hell happened to your side skirt?
Oh, you wanna see the jank ass shit with that? Here, look. Zip tie holder.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude, you're taking after me.
Yo, I was going 100 miles per hour on the road and it didn't fly off. Good. Look, you got the front thing.
This thing is nice. Yeah, you finally got a new hood.
Finally got a new hood.
Was this fender bad too?
Huh?
Was this fender messed up, or was it just that one? So a truck ran over this car, which is awesome, but whatever.
Hey, and then it drove 4 hours, so, you know.
That's true. You gotta get some spiked lug nuts, dude. Get some spiked neochrome.
Get half of your shit to your car. Oh yeah, no, my car is disgusting right now. That's the piece we got to
All right, we'll take a quick break from shenanigans. We decided to throw this metal cover back on. If you can see that, figured we'll try it. It gives us a good little hole right here to kind of zip tie this brake line out of the way. But yeah, anyways, our buddy's here. He needs to work on his car a little bit. This thing isn't moving anywhere, so he's just gonna park outside the garage, I guess. And we still going to Dunkin'?
Yeah, dude.
We're going to Dunkin', so we'll be back. All right, well, taking a stopping point. Going to Dunkin' Donuts, like I said. But we have a special guest here, other than Reed. Yo, say hi, Bryson. I'm put his Instagram right here. This dude's dope. I used to work with him. What do you want?
You're not gonna use my Instagram? Damn.
All right. I'll put his Instagram here too. If you guys want to go check out his BRZ, it's wide bodied, it's zip tied, you know, because we like zip ties around here. But yeah, Instagram's right here. If I didn't already put it up. But yeah, Bryce's a cool dude. He's got a Tacoma. I'm about to show you guys it right now. It's awesome. He makes me want to buy a Tacoma. So we're gonna go check that out real quick. All right, guys, here it is. Check it out. This thing is gorgeous. It's manual too, and I'm a butthurt for manuals. Oh yeah, he's got the TRD wheels. I don't know jack shit about trucks, but I'll tell you what I do know about it. It's manual, it's 4-wheel drive, of course. It's Tacoma, it's beautiful. He just got this camper installed, repainted and everything. Absolutely gorgeous. So he does have a YouTube channel. I'll also put that here as well. If you guys want to go check him out. Super cool dude. But yeah, and you can see it's manual and everything. I like to support my friends, so. But yeah, he's done some small stuff. He's got Bilstein suspension, but he takes it mudding. He does cool stuff, fun stuff. So if you guys are into that kind of thing. All right, back to work. We're waiting on Dean to go to Dunkin' Donuts, so I'm gonna try to get some more stuff done before we leave. We're probably gonna go back to the stock throttle body. Don't think we're gonna be using the J37 anymore, so we're gonna pull this off. We're gonna pull off the adapter, spacer, whatever you want to call it. And then we're gonna do our best to cut off this coolant port, probably use an angle grinder. We're gonna see how it comes out. Hopefully it's not terrible. All right, guys, we're back. Had to make a quick D&D run, Dunkin' Donuts. We're about to start cutting up this intake manifold. We got the throttle body off and the adapter piece. We'll probably sell that. Hopefully get 100 or 200 bucks out of it. We're gonna go back to the stock throttle body just to simplify things. Sorry about that. GoPro battery died. There are K motors running 9s on the stock intake manifold with the stock throttle body boosted. So a J37 really isn't needed unless you're like porting this. Ours is not ported, it's totally stock, as you can see. So I just really don't see the point in, you know, trying to make it all work when, or still using that when I can get some money out of it and then just throwing the stock one back on for now. So that's what we're gonna do. Next up, I need to mark up the intake manifold. It's still got this RTV all over it, so I'm actually going to clean that up first, and then I'm going to take our cut intake manifold gasket and mark where we need to cut on this thing. So let's get started. It's definitely going to be a long, probably pretty complicated task. Hopefully it all goes well so I don't have to buy an intake manifold, because I really don't want to do that. So yep, I'm going to get started on cleaning it and then catch up with you guys when we start cutting and all that good stuff. All right, so still super smooth. Now it's super clean. Haven't even brake cleaned it yet. Probably will do that, especially before it goes on the car and all that good stuff. But everything's good. All that RTV came off pretty easily. This intake manifold has pretty few miles on it. This actually came off of Dean's car. He's running a Skunk 2 manifold now, but yep, super clean. And now we're gonna get to the fun stuff, which is cutting this whole side off basically. So, yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, or probably mostly dudes, honestly. I don't know if chicks that watch this stuff, but anyways, he's got his little bug eye goggles on, but we're gonna start by cutting this little thingy off right here, this little nipple, because we tried to unscrew it, it doesn't. So we marked, it's already coming off because we keep accidentally touching it, but we're gonna get this off. My concern is that this line comes up, but it doesn't totally go past this little, whatever you want to call it, fitting. So we have to be careful about how we trim the back side down, because this all needs, it doesn't need to, but it needs to be out of the way. So we'll figure it out as we go. I'm excited because I'm hoping that by the end of all this, we get to throw the intake manifold back on the car. Don't worry about all that. That's going to get cut off. Sweet. And it's off. Now we got more space. So you see how it comes out at a point right here? Yeah. Start here and then we'll cut a straight line up and then we'll trim the rest of it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Well, would you looky there? I'm not touching that, but yeah, see? So that's perfect. We just need to like do little cuts here to get rid of this block so it's not there anymore, and then...
Dude, that came clean.
That did. It came out really good, actually. I'm glad we decided to do this really ourselves. Clean. Yeah, I'm happy with it. So if you guys want to do this, Harbor Freight angle grinder and get yourself a Dean here because he likes cutting stuff and...
Cutting and over tightening shit.
Yep, cutting and over tightening shit. That's perfect. So now we can kind of like do straight there. But once we get to here is where we should probably pull the Dremel out to make that exact. And cut her off. Hell yeah. Damn. Alright guys, so now we're going to focus on cleaning it up. So we're going to cut that little tip off. We're going to sand this down. We have to get rid of everything that the black line is touching. So that's what we're going to do. That's the measurements we took so that the Track Tough bypass will fit. Oop, I dropped the Dremel. We're good. So yeah, we're switching from the end grinder to the Dremel, and yeah. Well, here's what we got. We went most of the way down to the line. We want to see if this fits before we cut anymore. We're gonna take some actual sanding paper to smoothen this up, but honestly, I'm pretty happy with it. It doesn't have to be the most prettiest thing in the world because we did it ourselves, but the moment we've been waiting for to finally install this permanently. We might, yeah, I think we do have to sand more, unfortunately. No, we do. Just a little bit on the bottom here. Okay guys, so good news. We shaved some more, it fits. The only thing I'm like kind of concerned about is, where's it at? And it's not even like where it won't work or anything, but it's so close. The bolt lines up perfectly and everything, but it's so close. I'm wondering if the heat from this piece will still yeah, but it's not one solid piece, so the heat shouldn't transfer as much, if at all. But that's the whole purpose behind this. Keep your intake manifold from heating up. It'll be a lot cooler, better for horsepower, cooler air, more ponies. So yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and brake clean everything, and then I think we're gonna go ahead and install this stuff, which super exciting because I've had this piece for a while. I haven't been able to install it because the intake manifold. So yeah, I'm stoked, dude. We might have to go buy more brake cleaner though.
No, I think we got it.
Hopefully we have enough. What? What's this? New intake manifold. Who dis? It's actually not new, but everything fits, tightened everything down. This Track Tough thing looks amazing. This looks like a kind of aids, but it works, so I don't care. Intake manifold's on. We brake cleaned the hell out of it. Yeah, we took those paper towels out. I just had a mental freak out there for a second. I was like, oh, did we pull those out? So anyways, Track Tough gives you a new intake manifold bolt, so that goes there. There's this little like weird spacer thing that sits between the bolt and the intake manifold, and then you have this Allen key thing. It kind of pushes in there to smush this against the head. And then you have this little 13mm nut that goes over that. And that essentially just locks it down. So sucker's tight, it's not going anywhere. So I think next, we're gonna go ahead and get the fuel rail and the fuel system set up. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that while we have space under here. We ran into an issue. Here it is. So this is a K-tuned hose. We ran into an issue where it's not long enough. I don't know if it's because Track Tough uses a different hose thing here, but this one doesn't fit. So I'm really not sure. So it goes in there, and then it only ends up coming to about here. So we'd have to like pull it to make it fit, and that's kind of sketchy. Also, this hose is a little bit wide, so it wiggles around a lot on that fitting. So I feel like we're gonna have leaks if we use that. So I might end up ordering an OEM coolant hose, which is fine. This car's not gonna start up anytime soon. So it's just another item we'd have to wait on. So it's whatever, you know. We're also, I already mentioned this before, we're going back to a stock throttle body, but we're probably not gonna throw that on there until we have this coolant hose situated, because that gives us space to actually do that, even though we can kind of move this stuff around. But so right now, we're building the fuel rail. So these are the injectors. These are 1500 cc's injector dynamics. So I'm taking this stuff, silicone paste, getting just a little bit on my finger, like so.
Also known as dielectric grease.
Yeah, and then what I'm doing is I'm just getting some on the O-ring without getting it inside the injector. And I'm just wiping off the excess, wiping that on a rag. Take the rag, make sure nothing's in there. And this is the last one, so just take it and then get it all the way in there, like so. just like that, line everything up, and yeah, fuel rail's complete. All right, guys, so Dean's the master at tucking the injector harness, so that's what we're doing right now. We're getting everything plugged in. We had to pull the rail back out because we didn't really think about plugging the injectors in and stuff, so we're doing that now. Everything is going to plan. I'm super excited. Yep. So now we're doing the last one.
It's very easy to tuck a fuel. It's very easy to tuck a fuel rail harness. Just gotta take your fuel rail off. You could even do it with a stock one, I think.
Yeah, we did it with. I used to have a stock one, and we did it with that one.
Yep. So I'll show you here in a minute once I get this last one on. Okay, they're all on.
That one's in.
So you want to make sure the harness is pulled in front of the injectors, meaning toward, I guess, the front of the car. And make sure they're all in front. And then once you have that on...
See these wires that are in front of the rail instead of sticking up, because I think stock they stick up out on top or whatever.
I might need to throw this one behind this side.
This wire. Like so.
Yeah. You don't want to pop it out too far. Alright, once...
As long as they don't leak, man.
They shouldn't. They got fresh gaskets on.
Fresh O-rings, yeah.
Yeah. Alright. And then we're in like that. So now if you look, the cable is tucked underneath the front side of it, of the fuel rail. Or the injectors at least.
And there's our tucked fuel line, by the way. There's the ground. It's all black, all looking clean. Okay, guys, so that took a little longer than I thought it would, but everything's plugged in. The A-tank manifold bolts are back in. We found the fuel rail bolts and the washers that go underneath. Everything's tight. This is tight. These are all tight. Everything's Teflon taped up and, you know, good to go. Super happy about that. So that's awesome. Honestly, very happy with the way everything looks. I think it looks sleek. This is, I believe, the MAF, if I'm not mistaken. Just want it to look the same as this. So I think I'm gonna real quickly do that. I'll also probably do this since that's gonna sit up here. So yeah, I'm gonna get to doing that. And I also need to kind of figure out a place for this fuel line to sit. I think I'm gonna zip tie it to this wiring harness right here, right down here. Make sure it doesn't move. And yeah, we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. It's raining, not super hard, but it's wet outside, so at least it's warmed up a little bit. All right, just a little update here. We got everything wrapped up, pulled off all the old insulation, rewrapped this. Also did it for the MAF plug, or the MAP plug, my bad, MAP sensor. So yeah, that's all good. Everything's routed. We zip tied it to keep it all close and neat and organized. We also zip tied the fuel line. We got everything routed under here. The only thing I don't like is how this is looped, kind of, but it's really nothing better that we can do. So just gonna deal with it for now. If later on we find a better solution, we'll change that. But well, just threw the throttle body in there and tighten it, like torque it or nothing. But we got it on there. It looks proportional to the intake manifold, which is crazy because if any of you have ever put a J37 on the stock RBC, it looks like awkwardly large. So honestly, that looks good. Dean rolled his ankle, so
yeah, trying to get some what is that, fuel line?
no, is this fuel line? I don't know. Well, we hooked up the PVC too, even though when you're boosted, this PVC doesn't do anything at all. So yeah, it'll never be open, but that's why we have the catch can set up. So